Fantastic. We are live on Facebook, YouTube. What else are we live on, Brian? Twitch, Periscope.
There we go, yeah.
Absolutely. We're even in submarines, guys. How's that for you? Happy Monday, everybody. Everyone's had a great day. Do you know what, Emily? We've got that feeling again. We've got that winning feeling. It's nice, isn't it? Coming into a Monday show and just being a bit buzzing that actually we won a game and we seem to have a bit of momentum now going through. What was your thoughts on the Fulham game, Em?
Are you sure you're really that giddy? Because, after all, it is only Fulham and Burnley that, the wins.
8 wins a win.
Everybody's trying to play it down, aren't they? But, they all count, and I've got a real buzz at the moment. Yeah, I don't want to get too excited, but I think, you've got to give credit where it's due, haven't you? And we've got a bit of momentum with us at the moment. And some of the football that we played, particularly in the first half, was really impressive.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good to watch, though, isn't it?
I think the thing for me, I asked myself this same question as you guys. So I'm looking at this thinking, so we've kept a couple of clean sheets, we've played all right, but actually, how much is it actually down to the opposition that we're playing? We've beaten 4 of the bottom 6 without conceding. What's my other stat here? And teams above us, we played 3 and only got 1 point of teams above us conceding 8 goals. So actually, do you know what? Can we be that positive? But yeah, we've got to. This is like a ball going in the back of the net off someone's backside or a volley from the halfway line. I don't care if they win. I don't care how the ball goes in. A win's a win for me. Let's be positive about it and grab it and run with it because we need this motivation, don't we? Brian, what's your thoughts on this Fulham game, pal?
Just going back to what you just said then. We might have played 4 bottoms the last 4 games or before the bottom 6, but yeah. The games that we have lost, we have played just as well. We just haven't scored, which has probably been the reason why we've lost games. If we'd have scored goals like we did against Burnley at the weekend against Fulham, we're talking as those games as like, it doesn't matter who we're playing, regardless of the fact that they're in the bottom 4, bottom 6, whatever, it doesn't really matter.
It's a win-win, isn't it?
A win's a win, but some weeks we score, sometimes we score a half-full, sometimes we might not score. But if the play is the same,
For me, Usama, how you doing, buddy? It's been a long time since we've looked this confident in defence. I sent a tweet out and a message out the other day on our Facebook and our Twitter account saying we've got 4 really solid defenders now, and I genuinely believe we have got the best centre-back partnership and collection of players than any other club in the country. What's your thoughts about that? Because the 4 centre-backs we've got, just we've got backups, which is great.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. A great addition to the team. The thing I love the most is the fact that we have even dropped Laporte from the starting 11 to play Stones, which tells you that he's upped his level so much.
It was an interesting one dropping Laporte, wasn't it? But the rumours have been there, and I think the only rumours have only been there because John Stones has been doing so well.
Yeah, he's been doing so well. He's guaranteed his spot in the starting 11. He's been playing so well, and just like Guardiola said a couple of weeks ago, he's not resting players. He's just putting players who deserve to be in the starting 11 in the team.
You're spot on.
Not about rest.
So obviously we've got the United game. Sorry for swearing. This weekend, but we've got Marseille beforehand, so we'd pretty much be able to tell who's going to be starting against United on Wednesday night, aren't we? We depending on what defence is going to play out. Who would you? It's a double-edged sword. This. Who would you play on Wednesday against Marseille, and who would you play against United on Saturday night?
People will probably think I'm absolutely crazy, but because Wednesday literally doesn't mean that much, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, be putting Howard Bellis in. I would be playing Cole Palmer, and I mean, even at a real push, I'd be giving Stefan a go because there's no reason why we can't. And
who would
I think
you play?
that Pep has been criticised in the past for not using the youth as much as possibly people he could or he should. Now, obviously, I understand in the Champions League, he's not really going to, but with everything secured and wrapped up with a big shiny blue bow in the Champions League, and with the derby on Saturday, he's got absolutely no reason why he can't mix it up. He's got the luxury there of being almost full strength apart from Aguero. So why not give the youth a chance there and give a couple of the other players, the older experienced players, let them have the feet up.
Absolutely.
Because the weekend game, for us to keep that momentum going in the Premier League is so vital, and we are due giving them one in the league. We are, aren't we?
Emily, they are due for a spanking from us, and I God to hope it's this weekend.
I really, really don't. Last season was horrible, so for me, it's all eyes on Saturday. I don't really mind what he does in the week, but I would really like to see a few more youth players start. Plus, they've earned it as well. They've been playing so well. Cole Palmer's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And if he could play Liam Delap, I'd love him to, but he's not in the Champions League squad, is he? So that's a shame.
Is he not? Oh, do you know what? I thought he might have been, because I know Liam Delap's been nominated for the Premier League 2 Player of the Month.
Yeah,
so that would have been a cracking opportunity for him to play on Wednesday night, because he's certainly not going to play on Saturday, is he?
Are they not in like the beast group? And you're not allowed a certain amount of players under the age of 21s that don't have to be registered.
Not sure. I'm really not sure.
I would have loved to see him, but leave the left side, even like I say, Howard Bellis, Tommy Doyle, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Go for it. Play him, because for me it's all on Saturday. Got to beat them.
Well, Pep came out, didn't he, and he was talking about Howard Bellis, and I don't think he used the word replacement for Garcia, but if Garcia was to go, which I think most of us want him to go after what he said, and I think we all agree that he's going to go at some point. Howard Bellis is on par with Garcia, and he's going to be in there or thereabouts soon, so he's got to start playing games. But is he now going to get the opportunities to play with our defence looking so solid as what it is? Is he going to get the opportunity, Brian? What do you think?
Sorry, can you just repeat that last bit?
Yeah, no, sure. Do you think Howard Bellis is going to get the opportunity to play as many games as he'd want to with our back four centre backs looking so strong?
I mean, you're looking at it practically. What is he, 6th choice centre back? Maybe 7th. I mean, you've got your solid back four, and then you're going to have Garcia and Fernandinho as. I would put them in ahead of him as well, just for pure numbers. It's a shame, really, but you're looking at him as probably the 7th choice centre back. Is he going to get a game in the Champions League? I don't think he will. I think he'll probably use those other 6 ahead of him. So I think you'll probably see players like Garcia would be well ahead of him for now. Yeah.
And I've just had Ryan Williamson. Thanks very much, Ryan. Ryan's confirmed on Facebook that he can't travel with the Champions League squad. This is Liam Delap. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that. So the thing is with Pep, he's not going to make wholesale changes. He's not going to do a Sven-Göran Eriksson and change 8 people at half time, is he? He's going to play a really. I think he'll play a strong squad. I think he'll play 7 or 8 regulars and chuck a few wild cards in there as well. The thing for me is the other Saturday. Was it Saturday we played Fulham or Sunday? God, what day is it? It's been a really long day of presentations today, so my head's gone a bit west, so sorry everybody. So my cracking stat here, so the game against Fulham was the first time City didn't make a single substitution in a Premier League match since April 2005. That is bonkers. And that was against Charlton in a 2-2 draw. Bonkers, that.
Do you think that is because he's trying to make a point to the not using the 5 trying to push the 5 substitutes, or do you think it's just a case of he didn't want to change anything, keep these 11 players out and rotate midweek?
I bit of me thinks that, but a bit of me thinks that, Brian, but and also a bit of me thinks actually we've got 5 fully fit players there that haven't had any game time that are going to be chomping at the bit to play, and I don't know, it's a tough one, that, pal.
I mean, for like, you're gonna those sort. We're not really carrying anybody that's injured really at the moment. Apart from Ake was the only one that wasn't. Ake and Aguero, so we're not like we're players coming back from injury. We're not like we're having to rotate for missing players in position. So we're pretty much close to our starting squad as we can be. So having those players that will just not play and have them fit for another game in the week, is it considering that the amount of games we've got coming up? I don't know if you saw the other night on Sky Sports the thing with Gary Neville when he mentioned about how many games there are this season and how often teams are playing.
I saw Gary Neville's rant. I don't think it was a rant actually. It's a very well elocuted comment, wasn't it? Actually,
a lot of comments about how you're playing too many games in too many days and. These seasons are coming thick and fast. It's no different than it ever has been. In fact, teams like Liverpool and probably us, it's playing a little less football per games per day. You know, and we are doing. So it's not like we've got 3 games solid in a week all the time, and we've got we've only got like a 15, 16 travelling squad. We can use our full squads now, and that means that come Wednesday or come Champions League games in the week, especially with it being dead rubber, you're going to be looking at pretty much 9 changes for that game. I would think would be. Hiring a goalkeeper, I still think Ederson will play. But
breaking news, guys! Literally breaking news. Just on City Twitter, Howard Bellis agreed new contract at City till 2024. Howard Bellis, new contract. Good timing, that, wasn't it? We could have presented that. Good on him. I'm happy. I'm really pleased for him. How old's Howard Bellis? 18, 19?
18, is he? 17, 18?
18.
The cynic in me now says, right, you're at this level. If you're going to go anywhere near to play, you need to be raising your game now over the next couple of years to get an opportunity in that first team. I love watching him play. I love watching the young lads play. But he needs if he's gonna play, he needs to improve, and I really hope he can. Pep will be saying that to him as well, won't he?
How would you? So like he's obviously going to need game time. Would you? The amount of young defenders they've had that were sent out on loan.
Sorry, my little boy's just come in the room.
No, it's fine. Bring him on. Bring him on.
You know the amount of young defenders they've had over the years, and that they've gone out on loan. For instance, Tosin last couple of years.
Yeah.
Never seemed to develop very well. But I'm a bit worried that if he, I mean, look, we just said what is his 6th, 7th choice.
Yeah.
Let's say in a year's time, Fernandinho goes. If Garcia stays, he might move up to 5th. But we used to say he wouldn't bring somebody in to replace those that are 2 that are outgoing anyway. Or is he going to ever get the chance to play games at City? But right now, he's probably not. But I'm a bit worried that if he was to say chuck him out on loan to somewhere like Scunthorpe for a season, is it going to do him any good versus playing in the EDS teams?
I think this is one of the reasons why, from a personal situation, I want Garcia to leave, because it would free up more opportunity for Howard Bellis.
Yeah.
Usema, what's your thoughts on Howard Bellis and his opportunities? Is he going to have as many opportunities as what we as fans want him to have?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, but I think that Pep has managed the case of Phil Foden, for example. He's managed it quite well, no?
With Phil Foden?
Time.
Yeah.
He's been giving him just the right amount of game time, because I've seen the cases of, I don't know, Mason Greenwood at United or other youngsters in other teams. They've been the focus of the team. Like, the expectations are so high and they're playing every game. So I think that he's going to know how to manage Howard Bellis. He's going to give him a couple of cup games, games in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. So
it's funny, isn't it? Everyone's a brilliant manager. Everyone on Twitter, Facebook, you know this better than I do on Twitter. Everyone's a manager. No formation Pep ever plays is good enough, guaranteed. Since Pep has joined City, I have never ever got his lineup right. That for me is outstanding. It's bonkers. It's one of them in TM where he could play one player next week. Phil Foden for me, I want to see Phil Foden play. I only watch England for the City lads, because I want to see the City lads play and watch football. So not seeing Foden play really disappoints me. So sometimes I do vent that anger, but then I'm not necessarily questioning Pep, because you can't question Pep, can you?
No. I think for everybody just adores Foden, don't they? But Pep seems to be going with this, playing him in the Champions League over playing him in the Premier League, and he's been phenomenal for me in the Champions League. But he, for me, would be the first name on the starting on the team sheet on Saturday. You know why? Because of the passion. Because it's a Manchester derby.
100%.
So for me, he would be the first name on the sheet, above and beyond everybody else, because that is what we've been missing in the derby. Somebody who cares, somebody who knows really what a derby means, because don't like harking back to Vincent Kompany, but you always knew that Vinny Kompany would be like play with that fire in his belly, proper fired up, and like he'd fire the lads up, and it gives us that added incentive, that added edge. And I think we've been missing that in the derby of late, and I think we really need to get that passion and that desire and that real oomph back. And I think Foden, like I say, local lad, you've got to play him, haven't you? Because he just knows what it means. I know most players should know what it means. It's a Manchester derby. It's one of the biggest games in the world. But
there's two names. There's two names that jump out to me that I want to see play on Saturday, and that's Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. Both workhorses, both passionate, both got talent, both got skill. If neither of them play, I'll be really disappointed because I do think we will take the game to them. We need to take the game to them.
As a counter to that, who do you think they would replace in the starting 11?
From the Fulham game?
From anyone at the moment. I mean, are they in your start? Are they? Foden and Bernardo Silva in your start?
Bernardo, I'll be honest, Bernardo's not. Bernardo, I need to see more from Bernardo at the minute. I feel a bit bad saying that because I love Bernardo, but I really need to see more of him. Mahrez is above Bernardo for me.
Where do you play Foden then? I mean, if he's gonna go in your starting 11 based on this thing for the weekend, where do you start him? Because I don't see him in that starting 11 at the moment.
As good
as he is, and as much as I would love to see him play, I don't see him in the starting 11 at the moment. He just isn't break. Is he good enough? Yes. Is he of his ability and passion? Yes. But is he at this moment in time good enough to step in our starting 11? I don't think he is.
Do you know what, Brian? Proper Mike Bassett, football manager, back of a fag packet.
And Stern edges.
Let's do it. Right. Okay. So we got Ederson. Obviously Ederson. Emily, who's your left back? Emily. Cancelo. We're going for. Oh, this is a toughie. So we're going for Diaz straight away, aren't we? Diaz has been monumental.
I think Diaz and Stones. You've got to be Diaz and Stones at the moment.
Has it though?
I think so. I mean, he's played 3 outstanding games, Stones, in the last 10 days. I think he has to continue that, or else, what's the point in making this amazing comeback as a man and as a footballer if he's not going to get rewarded for playing well? Like Pepper said, if you play well, regardless, you're gonna start. So,
Usama, have you got any thoughts on Laporte starting over Stones, or do you agree with Brian?
No, I agree. I totally agree with Brian. I think that Stones should start because Pep would be contradicting himself if he doesn't start Stones. He says he's gonna keep playing players according to their form.
Making a point, your form matters now. The squad's fit, your form matters, unless you're scoring.
And game time. You need to have some game time in your legs. Yeah.
So we're going for midfield. Rodri's going to play. Do we all assume that?
Can't Walker right back.
I put Walker. Do you know what? I automatically put Walker at right back. He is literally the first name on my team sheet. That says an awful lot, doesn't it? It was Walker, Stones, Diaz, Cancelo.
I mean, I'm going to throw just the straight midfield 3 in now. I don't think it's going to change much for the season. Is Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne.
Yeah, Gundo.
And we might not, but you get a lot of criticism Gundogan, but he is probably one of the first names on the team sheet for Pep, and he said it himself. He's just something about him, and the way he's like a metronome in midfield with the ball. He's not outstanding, but he is something in midfield that I think Pep appreciates more than any other midfield we've got.
He goes under the radar, and I don't understand why he becomes such a scapegoat for people to point the finger, where people don't appreciate the work he actually does. I just don't understand how people can't see how intelligent he is.
He has something that some players don't have.
The thing is that people that don't appreciate Gundogan are the ones that don't appreciate football and watch the whole game. They like the flair play. And I'm sorry if you don't like Gundogan, but it's there's a reason Pep plays him. There's a reason he performs in all the big stages and he's trusting the big stages.
There's a reason why he was first signing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he does his job and he comes in and does his job. And just because he's not got a Brazilian name and can run 200 miles an hour and score fantastic goals,
he's a little 5'8" midfielder who can just ping the ball left, right, and centre.
The thing is for Gundogan, I've never really known what his position is. I don't know if he's defensive or he's attacking midfield. I'm still not really sure what position Gundogan is.
The last game he's been dropping deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been covering up for Rodri.
It's weird because he pops up in position. I can always remember back to that game against Barcelona when he was one of his first games for City. And he scored 2 in the Champions League at home. Was it 4-1 or something we beat him? And he got man of the match in that game. He was attacking midfield, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. And then you look back to a couple of seasons ago when he played a number 6 for us because Fernandinho was injured, and he was literally, when we won that title, and then like 18 games back straight wins, he was literally one of our best players as a defensive midfielder. So it's like I think he can do every job. He just doesn't get any respect for any of the jobs he does.
Just for anyone watching this on Facebook, Dan Fielding's commented as an administrator of our group saying he's bloody good sleeping aid though. He doesn't like Gundogan, he thinks he's boring, but I keep trying to tell Dan, it's like he does the job. He's not there to be the flair, 200 miles an hour, score a million miles goals. He's not there to do that.
That's my word for him, understated.
Massively understated. Right, I've put.
Just make one quick point.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Pep's philosophy is always. I mean, he's always said, "I will do whatever I can to get you up to the edge of to the last third, and then it's up to you." And I think having somebody like Gundogan in them little triangles in midfield is priceless for that style of play. Because Fernandinho is defensive. Rodri can do a bit of both. But you don't want De Bruyne sat in a number 6 role pinging balls. You want someone who's in there, sharp, and pass the ball quick into feet and little diagonals like that.
Yeah.
And I think for that play style, which is why Pep brought him in straight away, was like, he is going to be instrumental to the way we play football at this club. And he will be until he can't do it no more.
He's probably got another season or 2 left with us. His leg's going to go the next couple of years, so who's going to be the replacement for him? We'll talk. I think that's a question for another day, really, isn't it, for Gundogan?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the potential type team we're going to play on Saturday. I've gone for a straight top 3 of Mahrez, Sterling, and Jesus. I've not put Foden in. Am I just?
That's my point.
Am I just sounding my own trumpet here, thinking?
I mean, out of them front 3, where could he play? Whose position would he take if he was to get in?
The only position I would put before I ask that question, do you all agree? All 3 of you agree that that's the front 3 you'd play, or would you play anybody different there? Sterling, Jesus, and Mahrez. Would any of you, Emily M? Would you play?
Well, I want Foden playing really, and if it's at the expense of Sterling, potentially there, because at the moment Mahrez is looking pretty. The past couple of games, he seems to be passing the ball a bit more, and I mean he was really good on Saturday. So going by Pep's philosophy at the moment, but so is Sterling. We've almost got an embarrassment of riches, and we're spoilt for choice, aren't we? We've gone from last season struggling with injuries to this season, bang, who do we play?
Yeah.
We haven't got enough room to play everybody that we want to play, but it's a really, really difficult one because I just want somebody on the pitch, and when I look at that starting lineup, I don't. Nobody's screaming at me saying it's a Manchester derby, grabbing by the balls, and I just think that Foden would be that. I mean, he'll probably use him as a super sub, won't he, as an impact sub, and he'll have the impact from the bench. But
I hate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. The only position I can see Foden fitting into with this, and this is a really attacking lineup, is Gundogan's position. I could see Gundogan, Rodri, and KDB. That would scare United shitless, but United can also score goals as well, so we have to be very conscious of that. So I'm thinking Gundogan.
I think if Foden starts in central midfielder, you're going to lose the attacking capabilities of De Bruyne quite a bit.
Right.
Because he will have that defensive.
You have to drop back and play the.
If you said, look, let Phil go and you do a bit for the back end, it's to shoe on one player in, we're going to lose something from somebody else. I mean, that front 3 that you mentioned there is, I mean, they are going to, I think they'll start, but there's only one. The only way that you could get Foden to that starting 3 is if you drop Jesus and put Sterling there.
Yeah.
And then I think that is the only way you're going to get him in that. If he was to go with a false 9, I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
I think dropping Jesus would be a really big mistake. I think
that's the only way you can get Foden.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I just can't see him dropping Jesus because he's good for a goal, isn't he? I saw some stats of Mahrez's, Jesus' the other day, and I don't know where I put them. I'll have a bit of a route round for them and find them for you, but I just can't see. So we're going for that then. Is that our starting lineup? We weren't even talking about the United game tonight. It's automatically just jumped into the United game. Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Gundogan, Rodri, KDB, Sterling, Jesus, Mahrez. It's not going to be right. I guarantee you.
For Foden.
Tom, if that's right, I'll give you £1,000.
Give me a grand. Give it to the food bank.
Because that's what it's like with Pep.
It's never going to be right, is it? There's no way. I'm looking at it thinking, right, well, Foden's going to be in place for Mahrez straight away. KDB is going to KDB's going to play more defensive, and Gundogan's not going to play for Bernardo.
You can quite easily play Gundogan, Fernandinho, and Rodri, and have De Bruyne as a false 9. You could quite easily do that. It wouldn't surprise you, and you'd probably believe it could happen with Pep.
Yeah.
We're away, aren't we? We're at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Right, so other flip side of the coin, if that's our ideal lineup, who are we playing on Wednesday? Who are we going to play against Marseille on Wednesday night? Is this time for Stefan? So again, Dan Fielding, how you doing, Danny? Hope you're well, pal. Dan's mentioned it's potentially time to drop Ederson and get Stefan. I think you said that as well, Em.
Yeah,
because Ederson's getting a bit cocky and come off his line a bit too quick. Is he?
I don't say that with any malice whatsoever towards Ederson, because obviously, superb Golden Glove last year, and I just see it as rotation, pure and simple. Why not? We've got that luxury of being able to do that, so why don't we do it? And give Stefan. I can't remember the game that he played, but he did look pretty good for me. So I do want to see more of him. Why not?
I honestly can't see the reason why not.
Well, it's Pep, so I cannot. I know that he can be radical. Do you see that as too radical? I don't know.
Yeah, he won't play. Ederson will play. He's the Champions League goalkeeper. Yeah, I just can't see it. I can't see it. Sam, what's your thoughts, buddy? Can you see Stefan playing on Wednesday night against Marseille?
No, I don't.
No, I don't
think
either.
He's gonna drop Ederson. Yeah. I don't know.
Just
He's
can't
gonna
see.
stick with Eddie.
So what in that sense then, defence-wise on Wednesday night, what are we thinking? We're going for Zinchenko at left back.
Yeah, I think him and Laporte are guaranteed starters midweek.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Right, we'll move on from there. Before we do, have we got any predictions for the Marseille game? Brian, we're going to start with you, Pat. I don't do predictions. We know that. I'm not giving a prediction. So
I'm 3 for 2 at the moment, so I had two. Yes, I got the draw last week and I got the win at the weekend. So
what?
All right.
Lottery numbers, please.
Yes, please.
Oh, because I'm terrible. I couldn't find my backside of both hands, honestly, sometimes. So, what for Marseille you want? I mean, 3-0. Casual 3-0, just stroll through.
You said that so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Usama, what are you thinking?
Not score very well recently.
If we're gonna be resting players, I think it's gonna be a narrow win. I don't know, 1-0, perhaps.
Yeah, not full strength. Come on, Em.
Yeah, I'll go with 2-1.
2-1 to City.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously. Mind you, no clean sheet with the defence at the moment.
Yeah.
No, we'll go with 2-1.
2-1. Right, I'm happy with that. Have you seen the fantastic news that City have been offered Paul Pogba? But I mean, Rioli, whatever his name is. What a fantastic signing he'd be for us. Where did they get that from?
Don't want him.
Bonkers, that, isn't it? Why would we touch him? Why would we touch him with a barge pole?
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't at United and he was somewhere else and he never played for United, would you want him in our squad? If he had no ties to United, do you think he would add anything to our squad?
No.
I think for Juventus he did all right. He had a couple of good games. I think if we had Juventus Pogba,
hey, look, we can't get Phil Foden into a starting 11. How do you think we're going to get Pogba?
Exactly.
that's a fair shout, actually, Paul.
Yeah, I just don't think he'd be good enough to get in our 18 on a day.
And he brings so much luggage with him, doesn't he? He's
a joker.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'd rather have you Bernardos of the world or the Gundogan's of the world play and get your head down, crack on, work hard, no disruptions.
Couldn't be anybody worse out there as a style of player for Pep, I think, than somebody like Pogba.
I
Doesn't
agree.
work hard.
The attitude behind it.
His attitude, more bothered about social media and how he looks.
Well, here's another one that's been offered to City, Dybala. What's your thoughts on the potential of? He's from Juventus as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? What's your thought? Emma, what's your thoughts on him coming in? We need a striker.
I've not seen enough of him, to be honest with you. I know that he can be quite a decent little tidy player, but I mean, I've got all my 4 eyes on Haaland. Whether that is just a pipe dream, it probably is, but Haaland's just that player that we need. Like, we just need that proper poacher, and he's just so ferocious, and his record at the moment, he is the one for me out of anybody else, and my heart's set on him. I'm going to get my heart broken.
We talk about this, didn't we, Tom, about how he's a generational talent, isn't he?
Yeah. And
we've never really had many kind of romantic ties to players in the past like that, like we do with Haaland. We could be. I don't want to be sitting here in 15 years' time thinking about how we might sign Haaland for his last couple of years. Because he's with City. He support his dad's ties and all that. You want him there, and then you want to be in the history books as being tied to the player in his peak years and developed him.
Like the Sergios of the world, we got him and we trained him and we brought him through, and he's. There's no other striker in the world I'm interested other than Haaland at the minute. You could line me up other players, and I'd still put them to one side on the off chance of getting Haaland. I just can't see us buying anyone else.
I think he would set the Premier League on fire. I mean, he's set the world on fire as it is, but in the Premier League and with the players behind him as well, he would just be phenomenal. What a phenomenal talent he is, anyway. But to see him play for City would be, that's the one for me.
It's got to be, Annie. We've got to. Tixie and the crew behind closed doors. It's got to be thinking we need a striker. Let's go for him. We've got to. I'd love to know what's going on.
It's like Sergi's meant to be going at the end of the season, so we desperately need somebody next season.
Yeah,
I think they'll already have it planned, mate. I think it's all done. For whoever's coming in at the end of he's coming in at the end of the season, and it's done.
God, I hope so.
Money's there. The money's already agreed between them and the club. You know, good chance that personal terms are already done, because that's what happens nowadays, isn't it? You get the personal terms done with anybody before the transfer gets arranged. So
yeah, that's it. That's what we City. The background.
Get your head down. Have an amazing season for us. You're going to get paid an awful lot of money, and you're going to go on to better things.
And you'll probably get a nice bonus at the end of it as well by Shaky.
Yeah. And then Dortmund will be, whoever the selling clubs are will be like, we'll just sell them for a massive amount of money, knowing full well that they're going to be some sort of clause in there that's going to keep us getting paid for years and years to come.
Yeah.
And you got to hope that City's marketing makes all that money back tenfold, which you probably would.
I said the other day I'd buy a shirt. I've not bought a shirt for 25 years with somebody's name on the back, so I'd buy it, no question whatsoever. This weekend was Pep's 700th management game. He seems too young for that. 700th game as a manager. That's pretty phenomenal, isn't it? Shall I run you through? And this is just a quick. The reason I'm saying this is I'm still seeing people that aren't 100% sure about Pep being our manager, which, you know, they need to go and see a psychiatrist pretty quickly for me. So in his managerial career, okay, he's had 83 losses, 111 draws, and 507 wins out of 700 matches. Why would you not want him as our manager forever? I don't.
Some of those, and even some of those draws, if you look at how he's been for City, some of those draws we've had, 50 of those could have been wins. Yeah. So you could have been looking at somebody with an 80+ percentage win rate.
I've actually got that broken down for the City game, so bear with me 2 seconds. So he's played. Yeah, it was 250th game for City. Okay, 37 losses, 34 draws, and 179 wins.
There's not an awful lot of those wins that you would say we didn't deserve them, but there's probably an awful lot of those losses you would have said we didn't even deserve to lose.
How many of the draws and the losses as well were affected by VAR decisions and dodgy ones at that?
What a shout!
I'd like to know on that.
I keep having flashbacks to that Spurs game, 2 Spurs games. Oh yeah, yes, you're spot on. It's bonkers, that, isn't it? Just to repeat that, out of 250 games for City, 37 losses, 34 draws, and 179 wins. But yet there's still City fans that don't want him as our coach.
I see it every day. I see it every single day that City fans don't want him. I did it the other day, like when on Thursday when I was on the radio. Like I said there was a United fan who said if they don't progress next week in the Champions League, he wants Ole out. And I said, well, listen, we've got City fans who want Pep out, and we top the group. And they were laughing. And I thought, I said it out loud, and it makes certain City fans sound like United fans that we used to take the mickey out of.
Mm. Yeah.
I comment on that. That's you only find a few, like I would say, mature City fans, people over the age of in the mid-20s and above, that would be calling for Pep Guardiola to leave. It's all the young crew that are social media abusers and stuff that are making the loudest noise about Pep out and Ole out, and you know, you draw a game, you've had 35 shots and goal, and like a couple of VAR decisions, and you're like, get him out over social media, and then it starts trending. Everyone thinks we're all a bunch of idiots and we're ungrateful. Whereas if you ask people, you know, I'm not saying that my voice as a City fan, as a 30-odd-year-old man, is not any more valuable than anybody else's, but speak with reason and a bit of experience, says that why would you get rid of who is arguably the second best manager to ever live in the
I've seen it with the older generation say it as well, which was quite alarming for me. But that was quite staggering. I think sometimes people see games where teams park the bus against us and get frustrated in this so-called no plan B, and they think that the game and the football that we're playing is boring, when in fact it's just really, really boring and negative that the opposition team comes and sets up like that against us. Because it is boring when the opposition do that, but we play some phenomenal, fantastic football. I just don't understand it. It's all about a balance, isn't it, as well?
You see, you say boring, but these teams that are coming up, they don't want to pace in. They're doing whatever they can to make sure the score's respectable.
Damage limitation.
Yeah, because sometimes if you lose 8-0, it's no good losing 8-0 away at City. Then it's your next game against Brighton and you're struggling, everyone's heads have gone. With one of the best teams in this country, one of the best teams in Europe, we've got to play teams that week in, week out don't want to.
That's where the City fans are getting potentially confused.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing it as us playing boring football. It's not.
Yeah.
They don't know boring football then.
No.
I've seen boring football.
I've sat through hours of it.
Yeah. Send them a DVD of Stuart Pearce's final season in charge. That'll show you boring football.
We've got Chris Laney. Hope you're well, Laney. Hope you're feeling better, pal. One of our admins. Don't think he's Pep's biggest fan, but we'll come on to that, Chris. Hope you're well. He's commenting on what we're talking about now, and he said, "Careful what you wish for. In my opinion, he has become bigger than the club, and no one was bigger than the club. No one is irreplaceable. Look at United after Fergie. That's the last thing we want to happen after Guardiola. He has got to the point where it doesn't matter what Pep does. People won't criticise him." Hiya, Chris. Hope you're well, pal. I do get your point. I do get your point, Chris, but you're wrong. I think United was built on a pack of cards, and Ferguson ran the roost. City's built on a structured management business, which will not allow that to happen. And I think people have seen what's happened to United. Please, you three, tell me if I'm wrong. Chris, disagree with me if you think I'm wrong. But United was completely ran from head to toe by Ferguson. Ferguson was the dictator at United, and that's why they've collapsed so much. Once Pep goes, and we all know he will go.
Like that anymore.
Exactly, we can't. No club can be run like that.
It works, and that was the last time it really worked for anybody really, other than him and Arsene Wenger. Was the last time that sort of scenario.
It's a different generation now. Clubs are ran more like businesses because, well, they are, aren't they? Usama, what's your thoughts on once Pep leaves and who will take over?
Well, first I'd like to add something about how some City fans seem to not support Pep anymore. I think it has to do with the fact that he has set the expectations so high that if we're not winning every game 4-0 or 5-0, that they think it's there's something wrong with the team. I think that has to do with the fact that I think that's the main problem why fans want him to leave. I mean, he's been winning titles ever since he's came to England, and if he's not winning a title, they want him out. Yeah,
for me, I'd stay with him. I'd stay with him for as long as he needs to get things back up to speed. I think with Pep as well, you get the foundations behind him of his mates. Yes, granted, he is mates. Pep's not bigger than the club. It is not. He's the person who's bigger than the club is the one that owns it over in the Emirates with the oil drums. And
I'm certainly not afraid to criticise him. I'll always come out and my philosophy, you know me, Tom. I'll criticise if criticism is due. I'm as fair as they come and I'm really honest. Well, I'll praise when it's warranted as well. So if Pep has dropped a bollock, I'll call him out, and who am I to call him out at the end of the day? But that's kind of my job, so I have to do it. But if he deserves criticism, i.e. the Lyon game, then he has to take it. It swings and roundabouts. If he deserves praise for a gleaming 6-0 performance where we're all guns blazing, we heap it.
How do people improve if they don't get criticised?
You can only learn from your mistakes, but I don't know if he will. That comes down to the Champions League this season potentially, doesn't it? And what happens there?
I'm seriously intrigued. For me, I've got that whole. It's funny with last season, the season before, it just seemed like we're on that path at the moment where the Champions League is the priority. I don't know if you guys think that. I don't know. It's just the way maybe I'm feeling a bit negative towards the Premier League because we've not had the best of starts, and we're doing so well in the Champions League. Maybe that's just the psychological effects that I'm thinking. But Brian, do you think? Do you feel like that, or do you think we're just going for everything again like we used to?
I think we'll just go for everything. I mean, if we win everything, then obviously it's the greatest season ever. But you've got to take the building. You've got to take each game with the same mentality every time we go out and we win and we keep winning. And if we don't win, and we carry on that that momentum. To not aim to win trophies. Look at when was the last time we lost a game in the Carabao Cup? It's been 4 years. We just keep winning that and keep winning and winning and winning. And it's not the greatest trophy in the world. It's a massive trophy for some teams, but for us now it's become something we're consistently very good at.
Yeah.
So you keep winning that, and think the confidence you get from winning in that competition, and confidence of winning the Premier League, and the confidence of doing well we did well in the Champions League until we got some one-off game which we didn't do very well in. But given that might have been a two-legged game, we'd probably been very different. But you have to go for absolutely everything.
Yeah, Chris Laney's put Nagelsmann is the next man for the job. Ashley Hesk, Pep's good, but we've got Allegri, Poch out there to replace him. But I agree with you. I agree with both of you. All three of those are cracking managers, but they're not. For me personally, they're not as good as Pep. And I've just read the stats out of his win percentages, etc. Why he's not as good as Pep, and that's been proved. So,
I'll ask you a question. What has Pep got to do to get it so badly wrong that the tide turns, and the majority are wanting him gone?
I think that players want to leave. I think if KDB comes out and Sterling comes out and etc., they say, well, we're not doing so well, we're going to leave, and then they don't win anything consistently for 2 years. I think if we don't win anything this season, alarm bells are going to be ringing massively. But then people at the end of the season will be saying, "Oh well, you were in transition. You just signed a new contract, blah 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 blah." And then the season after will be the decision, which is his last season, I think. No, he's got 2 seasons left at the end of the year, hasn't he? If we didn't win anything next season, next season, that's when the alarm bells are really going to start ringing home.
Also, who he brings in the summer as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Very important.
If we're not replacing a striker, I'll be thinking, hang on a minute, why does every City fan know we need a striker but we've not brought anyone in? And I'm not buying that we can't afford it. I'm not buying that there wasn't the right people on the market. I don't know if I agree with that.
I think what it is, I think the only thing stopping us from pulling the trigger is Sergio Aguero's fitness. If you started this season off and he was banging around 20 goals this now, I don't think we'd be crying out for another striker. But because we all know, it's quite sad to admit that he's probably on the decline now, and it seems to be coming quite quickly in terms of Aguero.
And it's his last contracted season.
His last contracted season. He's always said he wanted to stay, and I'm sure if he wanted to stay, he will. But we have to get this right. We can't go out and spend 85 million on somebody and to come in and be scoring 3 goals in 25 games and to be struggling, and then all eyes are on us to get another replacement. And then once that starts, that cascade of spending money unwisely on big hitting strikers, that's the sort of negative press we don't need about this next strike has to be the one.
Yeah, you're spot on. We got our defence sorted. We've got a decent midfield, better than decent midfield. Striker is it's got to be. Ashley Hesk Ashley Hesk had a really good shout. And he goes, who wants an unpopular opinion? And actually, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I've heard people say it before. Why don't we try and sign Lukaku? Do you know what? I can see him doing all right for us. You what, pal?
Do you know who I'd sign if I could?
Go on.
If he was like maybe 5 years younger, Jamie Vardy.
Quick, fast, nimble, knows where the goal is. He'd do well for Pep, actually.
Honestly, I would, but he's not 5 years younger, so, and people probably hate that opinion because Vardy is like Marmite at the end of the day, but bangs them in, doesn't he?
Loves the blue wicked, knows where the goal is. What's not to like?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? But we're gonna love you and leave you now. Have anyone else got any points to mention before we go? Think we're good?
Just I hope we do him on Saturday. That's all. I just think it's such a big game. I think it's just so important to keep that momentum going in the Premier League, particularly because we have had a bit of a rocky start, haven't we? So to kind of keep up, I can't believe that Liverpool are doing what they're doing with the injuries that they've got. You've got. I don't like giving praise to him, but fair play to him because they're still all guns blazing, aren't they? But it's so important that we keep it going in the Premier League. Premier League's my baby for me. All day long, I'd love to win that each and every season. But in a derby as well, I really, really, really want to do him.
What's the minimum you'd accept from the derby?
10-0.
A 1-0 win.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care how it comes. A win's a win.
If it goes in off like it used to off Goater's backside, a 1-0 win.
Do you remember the days when City used to be like mid-table, and the best thing we could hope for was beating United or drawing United, and that was it. If we beat United in one season, that was the most amazing, and we stayed up. That was the most amazing season ever. I could go into school proud and happy without getting bullied.
People criticise us for that.
We used to live for bragging rights.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
People criticise us for having that mentality, but until you're in that situation, when the only thing to play for is finishing high as you possibly can, who wouldn't want to try and upset their rivals who were probably the best team around,
Right, on that note, I'm going to leave you with the comments of Lepore, who put a great picture on Instagram. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. So I am focused on giving Marseille a good spanking on Wednesday, and I'm doubly focused on giving United a right royal spanking on Saturday, and we're going to talk about it on Thursday night. Anyone else got anything else to add before we go? No, fantastic. Thank you for watching this on YouTube. There's a few of you on there. Please like and subscribe. Facebook, same again. Share it with your friends. Let us know if you are enjoying what you're seeing. We do read the comments. We do reply when we can. And if you're listening to this podcast, go down to your podcast provider, give us 5 stars, write a comment, and I'll love you forever. Thank you, Blues. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.